hearing you guys talk about your craft, and at the risk of putting you guys on the spot, I wanted to ask you, if you got one in your head, what's the greatest football call, present company included, that you can think of? What's yours, Mike?
You know, when you think about them, sometimes it's very hard to come up with one right away that jumps to mind. But Ian and I both grew up in New York, and listening to WFAN, the original all sports station in New York radio, they would always play these great highlights at the top of every hour. And I would maybe be 14, 15 years old. And I always loved the call that they had of Joe's dad, Jack Buck, calling the catch. That magical moment with the 49ers against the Cowboys in Candlestick. And just to hear Jack talk about Montana rolling out looks and throws, touchdown to Dwight Clark. He went high up in the air. And that just has stuck with me forever as one of those things that, man, to describe a moment that great and to be a part of an event like that, that's something that, as a young kid, helps inspire you to want to be great in the biggest moments like he always was.
That's very nice of you to say. I think, Jeremy, it points out that the best calls really kind of happen on radio. Those are the memorable ones because there's so much more description. There's so much more that you need to do. You know, my dad's, I don't believe what I just saw. Ozzie Smith, go crazy, folks, go crazy. The catch with Dwight Clark. That's all radio. And so the TV calls don't stand out like that because I think it's a visual medium. And we're just accenting, at least I am, and I know all four of us feel the same way. You accent it and you get out of the way and let the director just do his or her job and win an Emmy. That's what
you know it was a pretty good call on Monday night when it was Al, Dan Deerdorf. I think Frank was still in the booth. Montana was a chief going to Denver.
Yes.
Am I right, guys, that he threw a touchdown pass late in the game, and I think Deerdorf said, "Lord, you can take me now," or something of that effect. And Joe's right.
I've seen it all. Yeah,
I've seen it all, or whatever it was. It was just like, oh my gosh, and that was an old Mile High, and the place would rattle and shake and vibrate, and the camera could not stay, and it added the visual with his explanation mark after that catch. I think it was J.J. Bird. I'm not sure who it was, but the point is that Deerdorf really cemented that. And then, Joe, I'll say this. Some of the best calls on their own in a singular lane were by your dad. And I love your dad. And I love the guys on this show. But that call by a legend in our business, the many calls he made were just legendary and stand the test of time.
Ian.
Jeremy, I think with the NFL, it's more often the broadcasters that you remember their style and how they do it, less maybe the calls on television. I'm so much younger than the three other guys here. I grew up watching all of them, so I can recite call after call after call that these guys have had. But the reality for me, my first year out of Syracuse, at WFAN Radio as the nighttime producer, 7 to midnight. So that meant anything on the air during that time period I was responsible for. And Monday Night Football aired during that time period on the station. So I got so much joy out of listening to Jack Buck and Hank Stram. Hank saying, "They're going to run left. They're going to run left." Jack Buck, "They throw right." Every time. And I think Jack really enjoyed making sure the audience knew that Hank was 100% wrong in his Tony Romo-like speculation. It was great. Fantastic.
Just to wrap this up, guys, and this has been tremendous. We've all known people in the business, and these are jobs that everybody would die to have. Some people do get jaded. They do get bored. They do start mailing it in at a certain point. How do you avoid that? How do you maintain that enthusiasm week after week? And it's not just this sport, obviously, Ian.
For me, every game is its own entity. Every game brings new, fresh storylines, new participants, and it means a new opportunity to share that with the audience. And enthusiasm is something that comes from within. You can't fake who you are over an extended period of time. For me, it is natural and it is organic. Everybody here loves what they do, and it does come across. You know, as far as cutting corners or trying to find a shortcut in preparation, it's not even part of my thought process. I only know one way to do it. Joe only knows one way to do it. Kevin only knows one way to do it. Mike only knows one way to do it. All of the NFL broadcasters, there's a pride factor and there's a level of expectation when you put that headset on that you want to do right by your network, by your team, and also yourself, that you've put in all this work and you want it to reveal itself.
Don't you guys love watching a stadium wake up on an NFL Sunday morning or Sunday night or a Monday night, getting there 3-4 hours before kickoff and watching the special teams guys go out there, the assistant coaches running the steps, the ground crew working, some of the fans trickling in? Like, to me, there's such a wonderful, magical moment of an NFL Sunday, an NFL Monday night. That is, I don't know, I don't want to speak for my friends here, but that's like part of the process of ramping up your routine of getting ready for a game. Good game, bad game, whenever part of the season it happens. That is such a wonderful time that we get a chance to go to because we're at the stadium so early.
And I think that's what we all still feel. We're really happy to be there. We love sports. We love fans. We love the arena. We love watching from the 50-yard line in the booth, the building fill up, right? You're early there, watch the crew, the teams, everybody show up, the fans, and then you turn your back to the field and 70,000 people are ready to enjoy a great game. That's what I think in this one specific small case, Jeremy, but I think for all of us, it's what keeps our pilot light lit. We love sports and love being there, and hopefully that comes through. And that's why we all love to jump back into the next sport and prepare for it.